I'm sorry. What did you say now? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What is the case we're talking about?
You said
I can't answer that question without knowing more information.
Right. Okay, so basically what happened was, let me tell you a quick rundown what happened. So I was walking down the street. I had been on South Beach for about 10 minutes, walking down the street with a Bluetooth speaker. Okay. Now, I was walking down the street. I was I'd say about 25 yards away from there was a cop that was behind a car, behind some people, and I seen a hand raise up, and he motioned the motion to turn the speaker down. So I got my hair standing at least like 4 feet off the top of my head. So I shook my head no, and I'm still walking towards him. So when because I knew he was going to try to come out and we're going to talk about this. I don't have to listen to you talking about a noise ordinance when I know the Supreme Court ruling that happened in 2012. So anyways, so he starts walking up and I turned it down. So I turned it down so we can have a conversation, okay? So when I get to him and 5 other cops walk up with him, and I asked him, did he swear up on the oath to uphold the Constitution? He said, absolutely. I said, okay, so are you not aware of the Supreme Court ruling that happened in the state of Florida, not federal, state, in the Supreme Court, law of the land, that clearly state that in 2012, in December, that there is no noise ordinance. You can play your music as freely as loud as you want to. And it's specifically that I learned after the altercation that I looked up, he kept saying an ordinance. They kept trying to argue about an ordinance. Ordinances. We got ordinances out here. I said, you can, first of all, if you want to talk about an ordinance, you have hours for that. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Second of all, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Third of all, didn't nobody not comply? When I got to you, I turned it down so we could have a conversation. It's not like I just ignored you, kept on walking and kept doing what I was doing without trying to gain some type of knowledge behind this. Long story short, he kept saying ordinances and all that. He couldn't provide me no ordinance number, case law, nothing, no subsection, nothing. He's barking out his mouth. Then he put me in handcuffs. Set me down on the side of the road. I'm like, where's the injured party? Where is the claim against me? What is the problem here? Why are you putting me in handcuffs over my music and I'm sitting here talking to you like an adult? I guess he felt he felt embarrassed, maybe because I knew the law better than he did, and he started feeling some type of way and wanted to exercise his position of power. So when he exercised his position of power, one thing he could do is take my speaker. I guess they took it to property or something like that, the unit, or whatever. I don't know. And said I could go pick it up for free. Here nor there. When I pull up that specific law, he's talking about ordinances, which is subsection 46-159. That's what happens when you violate these things. It clearly says that the specific area right here, this jurisdiction right here, South Beach Art Deco area, Collins, Washington, and Ocean Drive, that they're supposed to be actually influencing me to keep up the unique historical culture, exactly what the law provides, states in the ordinances. Now, if he wants to be saying that I'm being some type of out of line with the ordinance, then he has to wait till at least 11 o'clock at night, if it's after that, to 7 o'clock in the morning, which then states that if he was supposed to give me a verbal warning first for 24 hours, after that, he could have pressed me a written warning. After that, he could have, and it shows everything, the provisions, what happens within 12 months if he has to say something to me again. He was supposed to give me a $1,000 fine. After that, $2,000, $3,000, up to $5,000. Then none of this happened. He just skipped everything and took my property and gave me no explanation for it. That's clearly a breach of his oath. So him and the other 5 officers are going to have to get reprimanded. I'm going to take action on them. I already got attorneys involved. I'm trying to get a clear understanding with you. I'm not trying to talk your head off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to understand how this was lawful at all, by any means. Because clearly he doesn't know his position.
Obviously, it wasn't a court officer so a court officer wouldn't be able to detain you. It was a police officer who did it. Now, if a police officer detained you on some other reasons that he thought he could detain you for, you would have to bring that up with the police department. I wouldn't feel comfortable, saying what he did right or wrong, because I don't know what all of the situation was at the time. You had to address that with the police department.
I'm not even so much
reprimanded or whatever else.
Right. I'm not really so much.
To see, and once he cited you, that's why you always have the option of taking it to court or.
But he didn't give me no citation. He just gave me an incident report. He didn't give me nothing. He didn't give me no incident. He didn't give me no citation. He didn't give me anything of that nature. He gave me an incident case number.
Did he tell you can go pick up your speaker at the police station?
At the property something.
Property room, yeah. Right. When you go over there.
On Tuesdays only, right?
Yeah, the first people you're gonna see in the back of the glass, you could do a formal complaint there on those police officers. And on the case that he gave you, his name should be on there.
Yeah, I got all their names, but what I'm trying to understand is, I'm not so much worried about the handcuff situation. I'm worried about the whole noise ordinance. Like, how was that lawful, what he did? Well, he clearly breached the whole ordinance deal, especially pertaining to this specific location, this jurisdiction.
Well, again, there might be more to it
What is
than
more
what
to
there
it?
actually was. So
It was just pertaining to music. On my incident report, it says loud music. That's all it is. It's a Bluetooth speaker. There was nothing else. I walked away. I'm not in jail, nothing. He took my speaker and left me out here. They left and told me I'd go pick it
yeah,
up tomorrow for free. So I'm just trying to understand, because I know you know the codes pretty well, how
right.
this
And
was
if
lawful.
it is the police department, you would have to address that with the police department.
That's
See
cool.
why they did what they did. Yeah.
Right. But I'm just trying to understand the ordinance is better. How was that lawful what he did? And with pursuit of the noise. This is all we're talking
Well,
about.
see, a code enforcement officer wouldn't even detain you or arrest you or take your property.
So they
That would
did
be the police department. You would have to bring that up with the police department, see if there's anything else or any other reason why he did what he did.
right, okay. But at the end of the day, if I didn't even get a citation or anything of that such, and it was all just about music, I'm not blowing no smoke up on you, brother. I'm giving it to you man to man, straight head up. This is all that happened. But I'm telling you what happened ultimately. Just like Sergeant Espadas told me, he said, yeah, I'm pretty sure that might have been the case. Because when I started exercising and telling him all the case laws and specific laws of this state, he acted like he didn't know nothing about it. They kept trying to talk about ordinances. And then the one lady specifically said, it doesn't matter if the Supreme Court overrides what we're talking about. We have ordinances in this county. At that point, I knew I'm dealing with somebody that's tyrannical, and then for two, doesn't know how to use our tax dollars correctly, that are exercising tyrannical laws, because they're not abiding by anything. So I'm just trying to understand. So I have to come to you that does know the laws. I'll address everything else in the proper fashion, but this right here specifically, I need to know how that was taken, how that was, I can't even get my words right, how that was lawful. How, basically, you know, say how are they not supposed to issue me a verbal warning? Was he not supposed to issue me a written warning, and then on top of that, a fine, before anybody could just take my speaker when I'm having a conversation with him and it's not turned up in front of your face?
They should have asked you to put it down and given you a warning.
Right, because when, like I said, he said, when I was, like I said, about 25 yards away, walking towards him, it was like 6 cops. I already had my music playing. Like I said, he raised his hand up in the air and turned it down. I shook my head no, and I'm walking towards him. But at that point, like this law says in 46-159, he's supposed to give me a warning one time verbally for 24 hours. And if you wanted to press it again, he could have gave me a written, that's what it says, a verbal warning. And then it says on top of that.
The warning could have been him telling you to put it down or with his hand.
Right. So then if that was the case, he was supposed to give me 24 hours after that. And if he wanted to be extra for no reason, like he did, he was supposed to give me a written citation or something like that. There's nowhere in the stipulations that say to impound my stuff.
If there's still no music, they come back after 24 hours. If you don't put down your music, they have to.
They have to what?
The next step.
Right, and which is a written warning. He didn't do that.
You know, once they give you the warning, if you don't put down the music, they're not just gonna let you go for 24 hours.
What's for 24 hours?
Make sure the music comes down. Now you put down the music, and you come back tomorrow with the music loud, then they give you the written.
Right, so exactly my point. So if I turned it down, by the time I got to him so we could talk about what he's telling me to turn down, it was down already. So it seems like he had a power trip moment, because there was no reason for him to try to take my speaker. It's down. We're having a conversation in front of each other's face. So then he was like, they were like, you got some ID? I said, I don't have to give you no ID. Where's the injured party? Where's the claim against me? Then the guy wants to grab my arm, act like he wants to detain me at that point. So they're all exercising their position of power very incorrectly. So I'm just trying to understand, like, how was he not supposed to, he was supposed to impound my stuff? Where does any of the ordinance say anything about taking my stuff?
That I can't answer because that's the police. I can answer the noise for not.
But he was supposed to, okay, so if he was supposed to do it lawfully, like the ordinance, how you know, the code, he was supposed to just give me a couple written warnings or fines or something like that. He should have never took my property, correct?
Well, that's up to him. I don't know what all the other circumstances was at the time that he was there with you. Like I said, you gotta go to the police department and bring it up to the police.
Right. Well, I mean, I talked to Sergeant Espadas. He just told me, you know, basically what he told me is that nobody in the city of Miami Beach or area, whatever the court system that's located to this area, I don't know how it would be any different, but wherever the court is that's closest to this area, he was the sergeant was telling me that yes, the state statute did pass that. He knew this, but he said that being that this county hasn't had a case in the law or in court that challenged it, but I don't see why anybody would have to challenge something that's retro from the Supreme Court of the state. That's just a given. I mean, I don't understand how an ordinance could ever override any type of state statute. So it's kind of confusing how he said that. Yeah, he's like, basically you're right, but that's why you can go get it tomorrow for free. I'm like, but I don't live down here, first of all. You know what I'm saying? And then what makes you think you just ruined my whole night? Like that's okay that you guys just did that and you wanted to detain me. You know, that didn't make no sense. There was nothing wrong. They let me go and they left the scene. So I didn't cause no bodily injury. I wasn't dangerous. I wasn't nothing. You know, I was just speaking my mind as a secure party creditor. You know what I'm saying? Sovereign citizen, whatever they want to call it. I just don't understand.
You could do a formal complaint in the police department, and if you're not going to be here tomorrow, you can go to the police department now. There's someone there, and see if there's any way that they can mail you yours.
I'm not filing no complaint. I've already
bring it up with them.
Right. Complaints don't do nothing. I'm going to file a civil suit with this and all 5 officers. But I'm just, okay, I understand. I know you can't probably tell me too much more about it because you don't probably told me everything that you needed to tell me. Basically,
No,
that what they did
I don't
was...
know what the police department did or why they did what they did, so I cannot answer for what they did without
Are you able to look up the case number and pull up? Are you able to do
No, I
that?
cannot look up
Okay.
anything for the police department.
Right.
That's why I keep telling you, anything related to the police department has to be done through the police department.
Right, okay.
Complaints, anything, since they're the ones who handle everything.
Okay. So this is say that what's to say that we're just talking on educational purposes if none of this happened. If somebody gets into an altercation or comes in contact with the police over music, what is the protocol for that? Is it a warning? And then like how do they go about that? What is the protocol to that? Do they ever have a chance to repo your stuff right then on the same day, the one time they told you they could take your stuff?
They don't ask questions, they just say, okay, that's it.
It depends what all the situation is. They could have a possibility of taking your stuff.
Well, I'm not talking about what the possibilities are. I'm just talking about like the actual law states they can do this at this point. Where does it state at which point they can take my property? Because I didn't see it nowhere in none of the ordinance. I've been reading it for 3.5 hours. I read all the responsibilities. I read so many different case laws on the municipal code enforcements in this area. I broke down this jurisdiction between the actual, they have it all broke down the streets from the 1st Street to 5th Street. I have everything, brother. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly where does it state that he had the right to have it. I know you're saying like, well, he doesn't know about the details, but we're not even talking about me no more. What if they're just dealing with somebody that's just having a run-in about music, not me? So is there ever a time that police could take that person's music away from them without go and follow regular protocols, warnings?
If it's being a nuisance, they can take it away from being a nuisance.
That means like if they had an altercation with you, you leave, and then they run up on you again, and then maybe you leave, and they have like an altercation like that, not all within one.
It could be all within one.
Where does it state that in the ordinances or the law though, so I can pull that up?
You would have to bring that up with them. That's what I'm saying. Go over there and they'll have everything in writing for you.
Well, you're supposed to know the ordinances. You guys
Right,
know
for noise. For noise.
Right,
Not for the
that's-
police.
Right. Well, what's the difference?
Well, code enforcement deals with all the statutes and everything for Miami Beach. Now the police has Miami Beach and the state statutes and the federal statutes that they can abide by.
At what
They're a
sense?
little bit more broad.
Right, but I don't see how the city of Miami can use federal law to override a state Supreme Court ruling when Supreme Court of the land is law of the land. They override federal. So
You would have to bring that up with the police, see what they did there.
okay, all right, that's what's up. I appreciate your time, boss. I do.
No problem.
All right, man, have a good night. Bogus, nigga.